So without further ado, let me introduce the first speaker of the day, which is Austin Powell. He's going to be talking to us about using NLP to predict health intent on Reddit. Let's give a round of applause for Austin.
Okay. Yeah, hi, my name is Austin Powell, as I just mentioned. I'm a data scientist at Kaiser Permanente. The reason why I'm going to try and race through this pretty quickly, my talk, is the reason why I'm talking about it is basically to present a package that is really useful for us in healthcare, and then also basically how you can kind of leverage open source data in order to kind of work with healthcare data. The reason why I bring that up is because I don't know if is anyone here work here in healthcare? All right, we got a few people. So yeah, I think everyone who raised their hand probably knows there's a lot of challenges in healthcare, and one of the big ones, if you're a data scientist, is actually getting a hold of the data, because not only is it super sensitive, but the people who usually have control of that data maybe are not familiar with the techniques that you're using and are pretty suspicious of it. So you kind of have to, it's a chicken and egg situation where you have to prove you have a solution before you have the data, but you can't get the data unless you have a solution. So the reason why I'm going to be presenting on Reddit is because it's actually a decent proxy for a really big problem, which is the situation if you go, most people are going to encounter in healthcare, you know, when you go in for a one-on-one visit with your doctor. And so the reason why that is important is because if you go in and you talk to your doctor, you know, it's like any conversation, you know, there's things that can get lost in it, and maybe, you know, especially the doctor's typing notes at the same time, things can get lost, you know. We don't want them to, but it happens, and it's be really important to be able to kind of extract information that was missing in that. So Reddit is a great proxy for that, believe it or not, because there's actually a data set from Reddit that's called Ask Docs, and basically that's great for us because it has verified clinicians on there by Reddit who are responding to queries that you have on the forum. So think WebMD, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with, but a little better. So basically what I'm going to be going over real quickly is just kind of proving that it actually is healthcare data. Real briefly, since this is a lightning talk, these are the different clusters, so kind of topics for the Reddit data. So if you kind of just look down each column, you know, you can kind of see that there's words that you probably can't pronounce and I can't explain, but they look medical, right? So you can kind of scroll through, and this is totally agnostic. It's actually clustering on word embeddings, if anyone's familiar with that. And kind of the only thing that isn't like clinical in this entire data set, there's about 500,000 comments, by the way, is like maybe geographic location of those in there somewhere. But yeah, surprisingly, it's a decent healthcare looking data set. So basically, I just wanted to show the package Lime. Has anyone heard of Lime? Oh, great. Yeah, Lime is awesome. So has anyone heard of feature importance for like random forests? Okay, yeah, so it's getting at the same idea. You know, if you're making a prediction, can you explain like what went into it? This kind of goes one step better than random forest feature importance, because there's a few problems with that, but one of them being is if you're making a binary prediction, it's going to give you kind of like the basically like bars, right, on how important each feature is in your prediction, but you don't know, say, given one feature, if it contributes to which label it contributes, right? You just know it's important. But Lime, so basically what I'm doing here is predicting whether a given intent, or sorry, utterance is usually the word used to describe, you know, a certain phrase that you'd be saying to a physician or clinician, whether it's offering health advice or not. And so basically, given say this comment right here, so you may consider your visit to GP, general practice, or general physician, blah, blah, blah. And so the true statement for that is actual medical advice, i.e. it's coming from a verified clinician. And then for this particular prediction, it looks like we got it wrong. This is just it's a pretty simple model. It's just the model I built is basically built on a count vectorizer with TF, IDF, multinomial, pretty simple. But the really cool thing about the prediction and then is kind of what I mentioned before, is that if you have, for text, you get kind of like a feature importance, like what went into basically deciding whether the advice that was given was medical or not. And in particular, you can really easily generate and highlight some of the different words that went into that prediction. So if you have any questions more, I'll be in the back for a little bit later. But thank you for listening to my quick talk, and hope you enjoy the rest of the talks.